I felt Gore was like a really, really solid, like I'm listening to a terrible hip-hop album and there's one like rapper who comes on with one good feature verse that's like literally a 12 bar. And I'm like, this doesn't gel with anything else that's happening on here. This makes absolutely no sense in the context and it doesn't improve what I've been listening to, but this is interesting.
Hi, hello. Oh my gosh.
Hi, hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
To all you bears out there.
My name is Frank, and this is a short and sweet, and we're doing a rush job because Thomas has had a traumatic experience.
Well, we've all had our own rush jobs at times when it was necessary. What would you say constitutes a rush job, typically?
Well,
watching Rush Hour and getting a hand job? That's what I normally think.
Okay, good. I'm glad you had something, because I didn't have anything. I had that, but I didn't want to say that. I don't think saying hand job is allowed anymore.
Not allowed? In what circumstance? I think it's fine, but if you can't say it here, you can't say it anywhere. I would say this is the place where hand job and gobby really belong.
And I don't feel safe saying it in front of you.
You're afraid I'll take it as a request?
Basically, yes. And I'm glad where there's a large distance between us. No, the traumatic experience is Marcus isn't here again, obviously. He's okay. Everyone, don't worry, he's alive. We think. It's been a while since I've heard from him.
It feels like people are going to worry now. I feel like you've kind of put too much mustard on. We haven't done anything
He's very
with him.
healthy.
He's doing
he's
well.
Happy. He's got a large space to roam around in.
Been blinking twice, which means he's fine. So that's okay, right? Like, we had to gag him, obviously. He was going around giving gobbies to people during rush hour. It was like too much.
Yeah. Great. So, Tom, what's your traumatic experience besides you traumatizing me with what you just said?
Well, what you made me do last week was...
Don't put this on me. Don't put this on me.
This is your fault. Is you, at the 11th hour... Just really... 11th hour is okay. Why is that the expression? 25th hour really should just be
25th?
the go-to.
23rd.
Well, that's it. But, like, no, it's the 25th hour because of the Edward Norton movie. But, like, I assume it was an expression before that. But when people say the 11th hour, I'm kind of like, yeah, but there's still, like, hour 12. Like, you still got time. But, like, at the last minute, let's say, instead,
here we go.
At the final second, right, you were like, oh, we're going to do Thor Ragnarok tomorrow. To which I was like...
So I gave you a day's notice. Let's just... at the last minute, with a day's notice.
You're right.
To watch a movie that I thought you would have already seen. In fact, you have already seen.
But not in a while.
Not in a while. And I had to watch all three, he says.
I just didn't feel good in my bones about watching the third Thor movie, having never seen the second.
Yeah.
And having seen the first years and years ago. So I watched 3 Thor movies within the space of 40 hours. I thought that was the third one was a good one to end on, but then, as I said, like, I have a bit of a sickness and was like, well, I'm going to watch the fourth one now because why wouldn't I? And it was...
How was it? How was your
really
time?
Really fucking bad. Like, a really, really upsettingly, disastrously bad movie.
So this short and sweet is purely for you to get it off your chest about Thor Love and Thunder, which you're not out of line here. You're not the only person... this is a very... people loathe this movie.
Yeah. I made the point last week that I've seen Next Goal Wins, which is, at time of recording, Taika Waititi's last released film from 2023, or whatever it was. And you were like, well, Thor Love and Thunder. And I was just like, in my naive world, like, nothing could be. But to be fair... Right, like, it was like I had just had violent diarrhea and I'd, like, watching Next Goal Wins. And then you telling me just like, well, who knows what the next week will bring? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. It feels like nothing's going to beat that. And Thor Love and Thunder is not violent diarrhea, but it is like...
You're stuck on the toilet for 4 hours.
Sure.
8
absolutely.
hours, maybe.
Like, it just feels... Like, I never really had enough distance from it quality-wise to Next Goal Wins as I wanted. I wanted it to be measurably better than Next Goal Wins, and they're within shitting distance of each other, I suppose is what I'm saying. Like,
within a monkey's throw, you could say.
Sure, a monkey's throw. So is that just a euphemism for hand job that we're using now?
No, because they toss poo. I think
Oh.
tossing,
Okay.
tossing their shit at each other.
I'm sorry that I was so slow on the uptake there with that one.
Of course you
I've
went
been
the hand
using
job.
monkey's throat wrong to this day, it turns out.
Went on a date with a girl, got a really good monkey's throat. She got covered in shit.
She threw
Oh
shit
no,
at me.
she stinks.
So yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder, bad. Bad movie.
It's truly. I mean, there's some pretty terrible movies in the MCU, and I'm like, as I've said it several times, I love the MCU. Still, will watch almost everything that comes out at the cinema. I've died off on a few of the TV shows. Sorry, Marvel, but like
Which
the
ones-
Eternals. The Eternals is trash.
I'm curious about the Eternals.
You
even
kind of
though
like Doctor Strange #2, the
it's
Multiverse of
Sam
Madness.
Raimi. Like, I mean, there's stuff in that movie that's fun. There's no like when he reanimates a corpse version of himself. And the last act of the movie, I'm like, what? I'm not meant to enjoy this? This is pretty fun, right?
Yeah, I
There's
guess.
some good stuff.
I guess so. At least he's like, similar to Taika Waititi's first endeavor. At least he's doing something different, and you go, "Well, this is fun. This is interesting."
Yes,
Because we've had
it's
23 films of the same.
And it's
Very
also that,
formulaic.
like, when you look at Thor: Dark World, which does that whole very video gamey, I'm thinking specifically of like Ratchet and Clank, like Rift in Time or whatever. Like,
Is that a handjob euphemism?
that's a hand job euphemism when you give them the old Ratchet and Clank. That's the highest tier possible. It's just up from Monkey's Monkey Throw. Did you say?
I did.
I was thinking Monkey Paw, like someone has one, and they're like, I want a hand job, but it comes with a price. Anyway.
Monkey Shoulder, not a bad whiskey.
Oh yeah, it is nice actually. Thor: Dark World does that like rift between worlds, but it's so boring in the last like fight. And then Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, I think is pretty good. Like I think it does that weird like jumping between timelines or jumping between
Realities,
realms
universes.
and universes, right?
Verses,
in a
yeah.
way that I find quite fun. I don't think it's a great movie, but I like it. I really struggle to think of too many MCU movies that I think are worse than Love and Thunder. I would happily watch the first two Deadpool movies over Love and Thunder again.
Have you
Like,
seen?
I don't. I'd put Deadpool Wolverine under it, just to be clear. I think that movie is like a pox, but
Okay,
Love and Thunder is only a little bit better.
Have you seen Ant-Man: Quantumania?
I haven't. I've also seen the screenshot of the effects from that though, which obviously people tend to put with Heimdall's son
The floating-
dancing in
floating head.
to talk to Thor in Love and Thunder. That looks absolutely atrocious.
This brings me to one thing. It's like I don't think a bad visual effect is going to ruin a good movie. If you have a good movie that's going along well and pacing's right and the writing's good and chemistry's good, and you have a couple of sketchy effects that are to the level of that floating head, you're going to be like, oh well, and you'll move on and you'll be absolutely fine. You'll still have a good time. If you're already thinking the movie is shit and poorly done and disrespectful to the source material and disrespectful to the audience, you're going to be like, well, they're probably disrespectful to the special effects crew and they gave them no time. And the proof is in the pudding. Taika Waititi went on like all the media for Thor: Love and Thunder, and he did an interview with Tessa Thompson, one of those, I think it's the Esquire, where they pull up the Google's most searched things about them, and then
and it's like, why is Taika Waititi a terrible director and his movies have shitty visuals? Like,
I mean, I don't know if that's the
don't
question.
know that was the question.
There's
Okay.
definitely some subtext there, but they're looking at one of the shots from the film, and him and Tessa Thompson, and he goes in a Kiwi accent, "Does that look bad to you?" That's not right. But he asked Tessa Thompson if that screen grab from his own film looks bad, and she like giggles, and it's like, that's so disrespectful to the poor special effects crew who worked their bloody asses off and just didn't have enough time, because you probably changed your mind because you're improving and flip-flopping and being a twat.
The buck stops with my take has always been, and my attitude towards this is that the directors reap so much of the glory in, and have for the last, honestly, like since the mid 20th century, since the auteur theory really took over and was like, the director gets the final say, the director is in charge of the film, it's the director's baby, and if it does well, then we go, wow, what a genius.
They get lauded, absolutely.
And if there's a section of it that doesn't look good, for them to go, well, that's not my department, go fuck yourself. Like, you
100%.
took all the glory for Ragnarok. So, of course, you should. And Tom Stoppard, there was a similar thing with Cats, which is actually a pretty good movie, honestly, but, like, has its... if you're an eagle-eyed viewer, you'll notice some sketchy special effects in it.
To be honest, I didn't actually notice that many sketchy visual effects because I wasn't paying attention.
No.
because
no,
it was
no.
so bad I glazed over.
Okay, well, I'll show you the butthole cut of Cats, and then you'll...
I think you've already shown me that.
Yeah, talking
Yep.
glazing. Wow. I don't feel good about that.
Please move on.
That feels horrible.
Please move on. Jesus.
I think Love and Thunder is the overcorrection that just leads to a catastrophe, right? Like it is, as we talked about last week, Ragnarok coming in and saying, this needs to be a little bit less serious or a lot less serious. This needs to have more pop vibrancy to it. Mm-hmm. This needs to have more room for comedy. This needs to be... it needs to be easier to fold into the MCU without feeling like we're doing our homework. That's very like high, as we said, Shakespearean and kind of like Norse mythology and grandiose ways of speaking and all that shit that like hampered the first two films.
Yeah.
And then Love and Thunder is just like fucking thumb up the butt, like who gives a shit now? Like we can do something dumb and people will think it's funny. And I remember you mentioning the screaming goats last week, and I heard the scream and I did instinctively go, what was that? Like a little chuckle at what a weird scream. And the second it became clear, oh, those are goats, oh my god, they're going to be in the whole film. It was distressing, to say the least. I did kind of like Drax's response to them. I have to admit, Drax always makes me happy.
Yeah.
And so when Drax was like, I love them, we should keep them forever, I thought that was pretty funny. But I hated...
The shame of, like, I mean, the end of Endgame is Thor and the Guardians going off together and them having a fun little banter of course, you're the captain, and like that funny joke. Wonderful chemistry, right? You thought, oh, this could really work, and they go up and do an adventure together.
I just think it's crazy how well the dynamics in that there's, you know, the MCU is so known for its flagship series, and every now and then there's one of those sort of unheralded movies that's in there that people don't talk about as much. And so I want to talk about one that people never really like give its credit, and it's called Infinity War. And Infinity War...
Oh, you had me for a second.
Infinity War brings
say?
in so many characters, and in pretty much every scene gives them a believable, a buoyant, and an exciting way to bounce off each other.
Yes,
right?
It's still so true to every character and every other director's vision that they've had in their journey.
Weirdly.
Like, it's so cohesive.
Yes, it's the thing I find most impressive about that film every time I watch it, that I'm just like, everything fits here without any compromise. And the degree to which Thor and Star-Lord immediately have that like tension that's very one-sided, because it's just Chris Pratt not feeling very emasculated by Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
And then at the start of Thor: Love and Thunder, it's like they're sick of him, they kind of hate him, and they want to go. And I was like,
when did he change? When did he change so much? Yeah,
I hate this.
It's so stupid.
Well, like, it's one thing to have a little bit of tension between them, or a little bit of sort of like knuckle dusting because one of them feels a little bit more like important or authoritative than the other. But for it to turn into Thor's actually kind of a pain and the Guardians can't wait to be rid of him, I'm like, fuck, man, that's not interesting to me, and it makes me feel sad.
It makes me feel like really sad, because everything we've gone up and like Thor's always been, you know, a bit of a boring oaf to begin with, but then so endearing and so powerful and so crucial to the Avengers' success, that to then see him as the butt of the joke in his own film doesn't make any sense. And if it was going to be he's really changed, he's got really arrogant or whatever it is, and then to have it be a hero's journey and to have him finish in a totally different sort of headspace and perspective, you'd be like, okay, it paid off. But Taika Waititi never gives Hemsworth any opportunity to grow in this film. It's like all of the emotional weight goes to Christian Bale and him and his daughter, which
we should talk about, obviously. Yes.
I mean, stupid way to become Gore. That scene where he meets the god, just walks into the oasis and the god is there, and the sword that is the god killer is there, and you're like, how did that happen? Like, why didn't he get mad at the god for his daughter dying and the god not listening, and then go on a journey? Why don't we see any of that, of his like drive to become the god killer?
Yes.
Stupid.
I felt Gore was like a really, really solid, like I'm listening to a terrible hip hop album and there's one like rapper who comes on with one good feature verse that's like literally a 12 bar. And I'm like, this doesn't gel with anything else that's happening on here. This makes absolutely no sense in the context and it doesn't improve what I've been listening to. But this is interesting because every time it cut from, I can't remember the name of the actor who plays the god that Gore is initially sort of
I don't even know. Let's have a look.
in obeisance to, but like, you know, every time it cuts to him and he's doing the I'm in a Taika Waititi movie, and it's Christian Bale with just all the pathos and sort of like emotional commitment in the world, just meeting nothing, like finding nothing to actually engage with, but like in isolation. You're like, yeah, Bale's doing something here. I still think
of course he is. He's like, poor guy's acting in the wrong movie. Like,
and even at times, I still think his performance is like anywhere from poorly modulated to just not that interesting. But I do find that opening scene, there's nothing quite like Bale going from one extremity to the other and the like quivering desperation to the soulless malevolence of that scene where he's like, how could you do this to like, oh, I have now become like angel of death, right? That's something, and I thought it was, but like the scenes where he's like fucking with the kids that he's imprisoned, I thought was a little too, honestly, like cutesy in a way that I just didn't really work for me.
It's kind of like his character in The Fighter when he's like, "No, mate, you want to do a fight, yeah? You do a fight."
That's a pretty good Kiwi accent, actually.
Thank you. See, I've been working on it. I can't find who the god is. Andrew Crawford, maybe? Flower God?
Possibly. I just thought that scene suffered and also like, you know, as much as we're meant to be invested in what's happened to Gore, as a shortcut, him carrying his dying daughter through the desert and then burying her, I was just, you know, I could feel, you know, Taika counting the money behind me and just being like, sad, huh? And I'm like, yeah, right, man, like, good work. Like, I couldn't really give less of a shit.
It's a shame also in the way that these two stories could be so mirrored with Thor and his adopted daughter. Is it adopted daughter that he
by
takes
the end,
on?
you mean?
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's it. He literally adopts Gore's daughter because Gore brings her back by wishing
from the
so it's, and that's who Love and Thunder are, right? Like that's the whole thing at the end where it's like that's the nickname for Thor and his adopted daughter. But I just
there's just no weight to it. Nothing lands. Every scene is undercut, sadly, with jokes that are nowhere near as funny as the last one.
I think that's true. Drax's line made me laugh.
And I'm trying to think of any other
I'm not doing a bit. I'm like, there must have been something else that made me spell.
What bit was bad was when they did another recreation of the play.
I was about to say, like, something that made me kind of, you know, terroristically angry, which I know is just sounds like a big threat, but like my terrorism will have one victim and will be Taika Waititi. Like I'm not going to do a mass.
Let's not say
event.
that. You mean on your
I'm coming for Taika
the
Waititi.
review.
I have to let him know that that's like allegedly, right? Like we're doing the Chris Hemsworth does HGH of, you know, allegedly. You know.
Careful now. Careful what you say.
Right. But anyway, I think the second it kicked into Matt Damon and fucking Luke
Melissa
Hemsworth,
McCarthy.
and then Melissa McCarthy, I mean,
bless her, but no.
No,
here.
It's just there's nothing that could have been done there because the goodwill of the first movie of Ragnarok is slowly bleeding out of you by that point.
If that had been the opening scene of this movie, it would have been like, huh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know if there's almost any good way to do it. It just reminded me of a 7th grader or a 13-year-old boy who got a laugh by saying something in class and then he says it 10 more times. And by the 10th time, everyone's like, dude. Yeah.
The joke is gone. The game's
Unfortunately, like you have dropped in everyone's estimation so precipitously.
Do you want to? I think is a curious little takeaway from this is Hemsworth has said that he won't work with any crazy genius directors anytime soon or something. I don't know the direct quote, but he was like
crazy. I think doing kind of a lot more. Putting crazy first, I think, is a good choice there.
You rank the adjectives. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. He went crazy and then he went bunny ears for genius.
That's what some people call
and then did a bigger one for director.
I mean, it's hard because it looks like they were improvising and just having fun, right? But the takeaway is he's completely eroded the sentiment of the character. And like Hemsworth has been playing Thor for 15 years almost at this point. So it's like, hey, similar to my other point, like, hey, respect the people around you, respect the creative vision of this, respect the legacy it's got already, respect the creative people making this film with you. Like, he just sort of flips in and out, and he's like, I'm doing what I want. I'm Taika Waititi. I really hope...
Taika Waititi takes an already funny script and is riffing on a level that is freaking sublime. I know I already referenced it last week. I realize I'm also doing Steve-O instead of Sean Levy there. For some reason, Steve-O directed that movie, apparently. I agree with you. I think they just became way too, the high on your own supply is
Do you think there's a comeback for Taika Waititi in 5 years?
I think this year he's got Clara and the Sun coming out.
But do you think that's do you think people care?
I think it
do you
can
think
only
he's gotten over this? I don't think people have gotten over this.
All it can be is a comeback at this point, because it's, it is engaging with a text that is markedly different to what he would normally do. Mm-hmm. It feels like a very conscious effort to do that. Mm-hmm. And I would hope on some level he recognizes that he's taken the shtick as far as it could. Someone's got to take the shtick away from him, or he's just got to put the shtick down. Like, that's it. There's no other way around. And I think that's probably what he's doing.
You wouldn't deny an old man of his walking stick.
What's that from?
What is that from?
Why do I know
It was
that?
a pretty impeccable impression, if I must say. Listener, tell us in the comments if you know what that quote's from.
Gandalf, of course. Walking.
Don't ruin it.
His walking shtick.
Yes, his walking shtick.
I do think that's probably what Taika's effort is. Look, a couple of things. Bringing Natalie Portman back, obviously great idea. Don't know how it fell so flat.
Oh,
we all were begging for Natalie Portman.
Stupid idea. Also,
Jane
how
Foster.
can the retcon of like Thor, like back when they're in love, and he's like, "Hey Mjolnir, protect her always," and then she just fixes Mjolnir after Kate Blanchett broke it in the last movie.
But Mjolnir's a dog, right? Like, they took that idea of every animal in every Pixar movie is a dog, and they're like, what if hammers are dogs now instead? And I'm like, that's such a fucking
wow. What if
idea.
hammers had feelings?
What if the axe is a dog? Yeah, and they get jealous of each other. I mean,
stupid bit.
Slimmest bit of credit where it's due. I can imagine someone pitching, "Oh, we should get a voice actor. We should get like fucking Jermaine Clement to be the axe." And I think Taika was like, even for me, I think that might be beyond obnoxious. Maybe we don't do that.
They do a cutaway scene and it's inside Mjolnir's head.
I'm glad
should play with me again.
That's pretty good. I didn't enjoy any of that. I think Russell Crowe is it's horrific in this movie. Although I do remember live texting you while I was watching it.
Yeah, you did.
He's Zeus. They go to Zeus to sort of campaign to get the
pantheon of the
lightning
gods
bolt.
everywhere.
Yes,
Yep.
and he's doing this terrible Greek accent, and it's just so woefully unfunny and self-congratulatory. And yet he does one thing where he steps to the side of his podium and he lifts his little skirts and he like traipses down the stairs, and I giggled. I was like, that's kind of funny.
Yes.
I actually like seeing Russell Crowe do that. So
Look, the best thing that's ever come out of Love and Thunder is your live text chain to me. Oh God, am I dying? Like, you were the dramatic spiral.
I was not having a good morning watching it.
And you watched it so early. Like, it was the day after you'd done
I woke
Ragnarok,
up and
right?
was like, Mark Twain said, if your job is to swallow a frog, do it in the morning, right? And it's like,
yeah, you could be butter.
I got up.
A daub of mustard. That's Dickens. Is that Dickens?
Which part? What are you... you're talking like Food, Glorious Food?
No.
Like from Oliver Twist? We are just like...
We're just avoiding the subject.
There's ships in the night, and then there's like two planets at the other end of the cosmos that have never seen the light of each other's star, and it's like, what are we doing right now?
I'll find the quote and send it to you. I'm a literary man. I don't know if you know.
Okay.
Fuck. I just want to also let the listener know we're recording this late on a Tuesday night because I'm about to go away for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. We were deciding to maybe do a 6 a.m. record, so be grateful we didn't do that because it could have been even worse than this.
It could have been worse. It's hard to
Worse than
believe
Love and
if
Thunder.
you don't believe. Well, I mean, is this our Love and Thunder? That's the question. Is this
No,
the
because-
equivalent of we had our Ragnarok and now our follow-up?
Yeah.
Is people being like, no, they lost it. They lost. They were just getting it. They turned it around and
Had
now...
some magic for a second. Do you know the internet also hates Tessa Thompson? I didn't know this. I was always like, she's all right. She's kind of funny.
People hate her for what? What's the take?
Just that she can't act and she shouldn't be in these movies, and
I
the
don't-
fact that she's
I
with
don't-
Taika Waititi is just worse. Nepotism.
What do you mean? No, she's not. Tessa Thompson or Taika Waititi aren't. Tessa Thompson's like fairly queer. I think maybe she's bisexual, but she's mostly been.
There's
with women.
photos of them smooching. The three, Rita Ora, Taika Waititi, and her smooching, which might just
okay.
be like
maybe that's just a convivial thing because it's like Rita Ora, right? He's literally married to Rita.
it's
Ora at this
Rita and Ora. I'm not sure.
point. Good.
I like Rita Ora. She's a good singer.
I like the song she did with Charlie. Doing it. That's a good song.
The song she did with Ed Sheeran, which I actually like, which is strange because I don't like Ed Sheeran. I want to brag. Like, I'm
Yes,
just
you
not a
do.
mainstream guy, you know.
That's just such an embarrassing thing for you to pretend is true. You
I love
do
John
like
Mayer
it. You
so
often show me videos of Ed Sheeran when we spend time together.
That was years ago, and it's You Need Me, I Don't Need You, and that's when loop pedaling was cool. Remember when
Okay.
loop pedaling was like the coolest thing you could do?
Yeah,
And then I
no.
got a loop pedal, and I was like,
So Taika Waititi.
do we need to? Do we need to discuss it?
I just know with Tessa Thompson. I just think the same thing I mentioned last week, which is I think that she has a very, very compelling presence and she strikes an interesting figure. She is not a particularly capable actor, in my opinion. I quite liked her in Annihilation, which is actually weirdly another movie with Natalie Portman, and I think she's pretty good in it, playing a very buttoned down sort of against type, and she's like fun in Sorry to Bother You. She doesn't have a lot to do in that movie, but she's got the earrings and her and Lakeith.
She's got the earrings. You know,
Truly,
like
you watch that movie, and if someone's like, "Who's her character?" and it's like earrings. Earrings is her character. Like she always wears earrings that say what she's thinking or feeling that day. Is kind of the whole shtick.
So she thinks one thing all day.
I
feels
don't-
one
just
thing
her
all day.
vibe for the day, then, right? Like, okay, I'm sorry to bother you with that movie recommendation, right? So
Yeah, good. I'm not going to watch it.
it's a good movie. But Tessa Thompson, and then Westworld, I remember just being like, yeah, I mean, this whole show is a fucking dumpster fire at this point. Why not? But anyway.
Is that Aaron Paul?
No, Aaron. Oh, he might have been in a later season of it. It's what's his name? Marsden. James Marsden.
James Marsden?
James Marsden. It's who else is in it?
This
Ed
is-
Harris. You know. No,
So-
but this show is like, what the fuck else is there to say about Thor: Love and Thunder? It sucks. It's a really bad movie that is generated off the promise and the potential of a new leaf that Ragnarok seemed to promise and
It
foretell.
turned over. And, we're
And
like,
instead,
great.
it's just fucking nothing. It's like, it feels like an improv exercise that has way too much money behind it. Not enough to support decent special effects or compelling editing or fight choreography or good lighting or fucking, a
The lighting is
script that allows
atrocious.
for
It looks so
lighting is
cartoon and fake.
horrible in this
Shine.
movie.
The costuming is terrible. Like I said about George Lucas, like nothing looks lived in, nothing looks worn down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame.
think-
I didn't hate the black and white stuff. with gore.
I remember texting
That's
you
probably-
that it was really bad, and that was when the kids were in the cell
In the
and
weird-
Gore came and taunted them, and that I think just is terribly. I think it's shot very poorly. And then when Thor and Jane and
It also doesn't make sense
all
to
that-
Gore's character. Sorry, like he wants to kill the gods, right? He's mad at the gods.
Mm-hmm.
So why does he taunt the children? He should. I mean, if they're bait, sure, but he shouldn't be. He's not mad at the children.
No, but I guess that's
I think
as
he's
far
just,
as it
I'm a
goes.
bad
And just
guy.
like the redemption of, he could just wish for his child to come back at the end.
And
You know,
wouldn't he like relate some of that grief of losing his child onto these children? And be like, I don't know. And then also, wouldn't he see Thor as a god, being like, hey, like I'm actually trying to help. I mean, God, demigod, whatever he actually is. I don't know. Like
What
nothing
you-
holds water. Nothing holds water in this.
Yeah,
The
what you're
plot-
investigating there is character complexity, which I think this film, from what I could tell, had none of.
Had none.
Really
Oh,
was
okay.
lacking in any sort of valence that was anything beyond just the surface of this is what this
And
character
also,
does.
sorry to just continue on,
it's
but
okay.
like, why? How did Thor give these kids the power of Thor? How can he do that? Why does he do
I
that?
forgot.
Like,
I truly forgot about that.
he doesn't do that for
is
Black Widow ever.
So
Like, poor
fucking stupid.
mortal Black Widow.
These 7-year-old children just turning into a gang of like electrified fucking crime fighters is just the dumbest shit I've ever seen. The movie also ends with the most baby key jangly shit in the fucking world, which is that it does keep spoilers. I suppose we've been spoiling the whole thing. Spoilers: Jane Foster dies, and like the world breathes a sigh of relief that Natalie Portman will never again be in the MCU. Fucking who knows?
Doesn't suit her. Just doesn't suit her.
It doesn't, unfortunately. And yet, the final end credit scene is her going to heaven, because we cannot have death in this movie because it's made for children. Like, it is such baby shit. I was so angry at this film already, and that actually, like, popped a blood vessel.
Because it was like the one moment that he let land where Thor tries to cry. He tries to cry, which I think is admirable. But the HGH is getting in the way. I think HGH damages
tear ducts have become too swole.
They're too strong. Ugh, he can barely blink.
I don't think Hemsworth is the major problem with this movie, but he obviously is afflicted by it. Like, he is.
It's hard.
He
it's
was
hard
not
to say
patient zero, but he got bit and he's infected. There's no way around it. Like, that's
Big time.
He's part of that.
That's a good way to put it.
And it's unfortunate because, again, I said last week, Hemsworth doesn't always work for me, but when he does, I'm all on. I really, really love him in Furiosa.
Fucking Mad Max, yes.
He's
blah,
fucking
blah,
incredible
blah.
in that movie. He's so good in that movie. He's really good in Cabin in the Woods, actually. Like, a really interesting subversion of what he was doing at that point, where he's playing the intelligent jock and then kind of is asked to, be the dumb jock near the end of the movie as well. He's done some interesting stuff. Crime 101 is not a great performance. Anyway,
but he can't cry and Jane Foster dies and you think, oh, that's touching. That's a good scene. Mirrored with Gore and Gore's child. Like,
do we care? Why should we care?
Well, we shouldn't. By this point in the movie, we shouldn't.
It's to the movie's discredit that it's invited such ire that I'm like, kill them all. Kill them fucking all. I just really don't care anymore, But anyway, I know I'm sounding like this movie, fucking broke my mother's heart or something. I don't know. It just really, really upset me having to watch it. And end it finding by, to an insane degree, that it is worse than the first two Thors. Movies that I just thought, well, this is the flaw for this. Like, it can't get worse than these. Holy shit. Yeah.
It is, though. It's outrageously bad and it's offensive to the senses. And you're almost like baffled that this film could come from the people who made Thor Ragnarok. It feels like you put Ragnarok into AI and said, make this again.
It's
kind of like
sadly well put. Yes.
It just never finds its feet. It never gets moving. We probably should wrap it up because there's not much else to say and this is a pretty negative take.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything we didn't cover. They literally reuse the song, don't they? Literally reuse which I'm blanking on what the name of that song is right now.
I come from the land of the ice and snow.
Yes, but don't they? I think they do. I think they use the song again in the late. I'm gonna lean towards 70% sure they do, because I just remember thinking, as laziness goes, holy shit, trying to recapture that same energy by using the same needle drop is pretty despairing.
I feel like I'd remember that.
I could be wrong. Maybe this. Oh no! I realize what it is. Sorry, I realize
Sweet Child of Mine.
Sweet Child of Mine starts playing, and I'm like, well, this is the most fucking obvious thing.
Yes, whatever the riff is from Slash. I got a town that it seems to me. Yeah, okay. Axl Rose,
Sweet
again,
mild of shit.
That's Sweet Love of Blunder. Love and Thunder. What could you do? Love, Glove and Blunder.
Rough and Chunder.
There's lots for under.
Credit me for not using cum anywhere in there. It's there.
I won't. That's not.
Which would have implied a good time. I would not let cum in this title because that would have been exciting. Sure. Yes.
Yeah. Wow, it's a real monkey toss of an episode.
That was a bit of a monkey toss.
But that's okay. It's fine to monkey toss. Well, I would say put it in the comments. Hold on. Put it in the comments if you have anything that we missed that you think was terrible in this movie. Or anything that you thought was redemption for the movie. You know, if you like it, let us know.
Yeah, Taika, tell us what you were
Yeah,
going
Taika,
for, what you liked.
come and defend
Clearly you didn't
yourself.
like the special effects. So what the fuck was good in it?
Through the power.
Thank you for listening to Throw on the Power. My name is Frank.
My name's Tom.
And that was... I can't hear you, Tom, at all. I'm
Maybe
just
the
gonna-
grumpiest I've
can't
been
hear
on
you.
mic in a while. Like, I feel like I need to chill out and watch a movie that's going to make me happy again.
Such as?
Through the power.
I don't know. Something like... Maybe I'll watch Bottoms again. Bottoms was fun. Is this the outro? Or
Thank you for listening. We love you. Bye.
Okay.
DM us. Throw on the Palette Instagram. Subscribe, like, etc. I'll cut it in later.